Good afternoon and welcome back to Challenge. This is my day 14 of 29 days of love challenge. Want to say welcome back and let me say this to you because it's the 14th, and really when my wife had mentioned to me about doing this love challenge, uh the first thing I thought about was, why did she say, next month, 29 days, love? And I thought about it right away. I thought about Valentine's Day, and which we not only do we have, like, this is Black History Month, right? But it's also where we have Valentine's Day. This is where we celebrate, couples, those who are in love, uh, you know, show appreciation through love, through gifts, through hugs, dinners, lunch, and we just kind of celebrating, love, and the love that people have for each other. And I was thinking about that when you look at historically, Saint Valentine's, supposedly, according to Wikipedia, Saint Valentine's was put into prison several times for trying to give the message, a Christian message to Christian people, or bring the message to Christian people. And eventually he was martyred. So, in which we come up with historically, uh, Saint Valentine's, or Valentine's Day, right? And so I really want to, wish each and every one of you, uh, a happy Valentine's. So I want to say happy Valentine's to my lovely wife of 40 years, right? And gentlemen, I hope by now you've already gone out and you've gotten your cards, right? And you've got your plans and everything set up for this Valentine's. I know it's a little weather. Don't blame it on the weather. Weather doesn't stop that. But hopefully you're doing something to be a blessing and to show love to the one you love. So happy Valentine's Day again, man. This is a very special day, and it's awesome, man. And here it is. I hope that your day is full of love, man. Have a day of love, man. But not only today, let's carry it on, because right now we're trying to shift a paradigm, right? By doing this love challenge. We believe that love overcomes and conquers anything. It says, scripture says, perfect love cast out all fear, right? And of course, I have to, you know, continue to say, uh, you know, thanks to Joyce Myers and her book, The Love Revolution. This is my book of the month. Um, you know, Look, this is awesome book. It challenged me to be a better person, right? And then one of the things in the book that it challenged me with was, you know, you as a person could love. I mean, everybody could show love and show acts of kindness. Everybody, whether you be in the church or not in the church, or you know, people have moments where they show love, or people show love all the time, right? But love, unconditional love, when you're in a relationship with the Lord Jesus Christ, that love can become unconditional, right? And in Him, in that relationship between you and Him, right, He makes you a better person in order to apply love and to manifest love. It's powerful. So on yesterday, real quickly on yesterday, my guest was Pastor Marvin Graham, and he got off the and called me right after, not too long after he got off, and he said, "Hey, man, I got a call from one of my pastor friends. He was having some conflict, stuff like that, and said that the show was a blessing, because it helped him realize that love is really the only tool, right, that should be used when it comes to conflicts of issues, right? And so he was thankful for the show, and I was glad that I was encouraged, right? Because I'm taking this serious. I believe that love, you know, love can, you know, my friend David Belton said, love is more powerful than an atomic bomb, right? And so we're here today to continue to grow that each and every day. I feel it growing stronger, right? Remember, we're trying to manifest the fruit of the spirit. It says, but the fruit, not fruits, but the fruit of the spirit is love, and the attributes of love is joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control, and against such there is no law, right? The power of love is that love is patient, love is kind, love does not envy, it does not boast, it is not proud, it is not rude, it is not self-seeking, it's not easily angered, it keeps no record of wrong, it does not delight in evil, it rejoices in truth, it always protects, it always trusts, it always hopes, and it always perseveres. Love never fails. 1 Corinthians 13, right? And so love is powerful. So I thank you on this Valentine's Day. I thank you for pausing of them, at this moment from 12 to 12:30 for 29 days. We're in day 14 of it, but I thank you for pausing and jumping on. And remember this, right? Remember this, that this is on Lowe's More the Blueprint on Facebook and YouTube, right? It stays there, just like I was doing the 31-day wisdom challenge, right? I didn't make every day, but I could see the replay. And so I would go back and see the replay. So it's still up there. If you want to catch up, you can see all 14 days and catch up to the 15th day. So without further ado, I want to remind us that our goal here is that we just got to learn how to love people. Chris Tomlin says in his song, love people. We just got to learn how to love people, man. And like the kid president says, it starts with me, starts with you. One person showing love, right, can cause for a ripple effect that love can keep growing and growing and growing and growing, knowing that this world, this society needs love in a day and a time like this, right? So I want to show you a video before I pop on my guest here, show you this quick video, and I think you're going to love it. Check this out. And everything is AI today, right? AI. Everybody's going to AI. College students are going to AI to do their papers. High school students are going to AI, artificial. If you don't know what that means, artificial intelligence, right? Right. Everybody's using AI today. Movie industry. Everybody is using AI. But check this out. This is what AI says. Check this out. Check out what AI says about changing the world. Right. Check out what AI says. Check this out. Awesome. That's what AI said. When they put it in, ask AI how you can save the world. He breaks down the same things that Jesus was talking about when he was here, right? Hey, even he knows, right? The power of Jesus. So, and the power of love. Check out, I'm bringing to my man, bringing it to my guest today, Dr. Peter Sherrill. Man, I want to welcome you to 29 Days of Love Challenge, day 14.
Thank you, sir. My pleasure to be here, man. Thanks for inviting me, having me.
So now I'm gonna put you on the spot for a minute,
Oh, geez. Okay.
right? Because sometimes we're in our humanity, right? So like when people come to me, I always tell people, I said, look, the first thing that hits me, we're not, I mean, I can attest to this. This is me personally. I'm not always in that place of the spirit where I make great decisions right away, right? Most of the time I'm in my humanity. So in order for me to get to my spirit, you got to go through my humanity, right? And so eventually when what's said and done hits me, right, I got to move to response or I'll react, right? But see, and the other day when I was talking to you and I was like, "Hey Pete, man, why don't you jump on, man?" And I'm doing this love challenge, and you reacted like love. So talk to me about your first reaction, right? When I start talking to you about, you said, "What's the love challenge? What's love?" I mean, it's almost like Tina Turner saying,
What
"Man, what
love
love
got to
got to
do
do
with
with
it?
this, man?"
What love, exactly, what love got to do with it, man? Talk about love. What kind of
Yeah, I
about
mean, just talk
love?
about your first response, man. When it
That is
comes,
it. It's like that's my first response when I first saw it. It was like love challenge. I was like, what the hell? Okay. What you done concocted now? Although I know it was a good thing. It's a beautiful thing. But as a man, and it's just like, wow, I'm gonna get on the podcast and be talking about love. How that gonna look? But then as we started having a little discussion, and I think one of the things that we touched upon, I said, well, one of the things that we might want to talk about is, do you really, really love the Lord?
right?
Yeah, you walk around talking about love, but do you really, really love the Lord? And from there, uh, we were talking about some of the experiences we shared when we were um, working together, publishing your book, and after we got it finished, and was talking about how we had that book signing, and the tea party showed up and showed out, and it was like,
Okay, and I'm gonna tell you my reaction when you said, "Yeah, I was at the Tea Party meeting." Right? They invited me over to talk to them, and I was like, "The Tea Party." I reacted just like you reacted, right? I said, "The Tea Party." Yeah, and then you start telling me what you shared with the Tea Party, and then you said, you know, "Oh yeah, the Tea Party wants to help." Talk a little bit about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So I was going to talk to them about one of the books I had recently published. Actually, both of the books I had published at that time, and it was when I had met them because certain things transpired, and it really is, it's really all manifests in the spirit, and then it comes into the natural. And so I was given this directive by God to do something, and I was like, you got to be kidding. And I compare that to Jonah going to Nineveh, and Jonah saying to God, are you mad, man? I am not going to Nineveh. Because if anybody knows anything about Nineveh, they were just as wild as Sodom and Gomorrah. And,
Mm.
and God was telling Jonah to go tell them they need to repent. And Jonah the prophet was like, hell no, I ain't going to Nineveh. And he jumped on the ship and went to Tarshish. So I had an experience where God challenged me to do something that went against everything I ever believed in. And it was like, ain't no way I'm doing this. But anyway, to make a long story short, uh, when God tell you to do something, guess what? You're gonna try to run away, but guess what? You're gonna end up doing it anyway, one way or the other. You can pick the hard way or the short, or the more easier path. But I say all that to say, um, being so intense and being involved in like racial discrimination lawsuit, I have pure contempt um, for my colleagues in corporate America, and just the whole system that we were faced with. And so with that, when God proposed or basically gave me this directive, I was totally against it. But what happened was that when I obeyed and was obedient to this directive, um, it opened up a whole nother door and a whole nother life for me. And when I was sharing with the Tea Party, because they were looking at me like, "What the hell are you doing here?" And so I was sharing with the Tea Party, and I said, "Well, you know what?" I said, "Man, God told me to do something, man, and I did it, man, and I tell you, man, it just changed my whole entire life and opened up the doors, it opened up my eyes, it removed the chains, and then I understood what King was saying when he said, you got to love your enemies." And he expressed agape love, not this, romantic love. It's a different kind of love. And a relationship, I mean, a real closeness because of the purity and the love of God that brought this into manifestation. They understood what I was talking about. And I mean, when I was sharing with it, you could see the tears coming out their eyes, man. I was like, man, this is amazing. The tears started coming down my eyes. And I was like, so anyway, to get to the point about what happened, I told Lowe's I was going to meet with the Tea Party. He was like, the Tea Party? I was like, yeah, man, the Tea Party. I know, it's amazing. It's amazing. And so I was telling them about, Lowe's book signing. And they was like, oh, man, this sounds great. From the Boys and Girls Club to the NBA, Life on the Narrow Road. That's what they identified with. Life on the Narrow Road. And so they came out. We got Maggie's up on Gramerton. Man, we had an incredible time. They became good friends, not only with Lowe's, but became great supporters of the Boys and Girls Club, and even started an entrepreneurship program down at the club, the Tea Party. And it showed me that, what God was showing me was that, you got to build this bridge that has us divided to unite us. And it's only through the love that we both have for God that brought us together and took us to a whole nother dimension and experience. It was phenomenal. And I think it's still going on till this day.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is that when you said it, and then you said they wanted to come to the book signing, I think out of the books, most book signing that I had, other than the first book
at
signing,
the club, yeah, that was awesome too.
Yeah, that was awesome. But from the Tea Party, I mean, I didn't, I would put it out there. I don't know that I got a lot of support, in regards to, from people in coming to sign and get books and be supportive. But the Tea Party showed up. I think 38 people came through from the Tea Party, and each one of them bought one or more books. And they showed a lot of love, and like you said, and I say, then they became involved. They called me up at the Boys and Girls Club and asked what they could do. They made donations. They came to dinners, and then when they started the entrepreneurship program, it was just powerful, And even before I left, man, one of the guys was a chair designer. He designed office chairs and stuff like that. I mean, before I left, man, he sent me a beautiful leather office chair, man. It was just awesome to see what God where God, told you what God told you to do,
Yeah.
and then your obedience to God, right? And then to see what God opened up this relationship between you and the Tea Party, and I and the Tea Party. That was truly a blessing.
Truly. And that's the power of love.
Yes, it is. Yeah, and I'm saying, like, if you could look at it, and this is an example. I mean, Pete just shared an example of what happens when you shift your paradigm, right? When you shift when you change your environment, when you allow love to change your paradigm, allow love to shift your culture, allow love to shift your environment. That's what happens when love gets involved, right? I mean, the impossible happens, right? When love gets involved.
Yes.
And so I'm believing that, in these 29 days, it takes 21 days to change a habit, right? Well, we're trying in 29 days, right? We're trying to sow a seed. We're trying to help people become aware again about the importance and power of love. I think we've lost it. I mean, we've lost it all around the world. Because, one of the things in
Man.
Joyce Meyer's book, she said it was the one thing, right, that Joyce Meyer said that hindered people from manifesting love, and that was selfishness. Everybody just thought about their self. They just greedy. They want everything. You know what supremacy is, right? Is that I am better than you. You are beneath me, right? And when you have an attitude that you're better than somebody, right, that you'll destroy them before you love them, man. I mean, that's the kind of mindset that we're in right now. Everybody's just trying to get what they want, right? And I said on the show a few days ago, Zig Ziglar said, well, if you help enough people get what they want, ultimately you will get what you want, right? So we believe that the power of love will change anything, right? And it will come in if you start acting on it, it will come in like a flood.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this. I got this video real quick. I want to get your thoughts on it. Yeah, I want to get your thoughts on this, man, and then we'll have a conversation, and we'll get out of here.
It has been said that our lives are a reflection of our thoughts. If this is the case, shouldn't we be watching our thoughts with care? And how do those thoughts not only affect ourselves, but the people around us? There's a story of a young boy that walks into a cafe and sits down at a table. A waitress comes over and sets a glass of water down. The boy looks up at her and asks how much an ice cream sundae is. The waitress looks down and tells him it's $1. The boy then pulls his hand out of his pocket and looks at a number of coins in it. He again looks up at the waitress. How much is a bowl of just plain ice cream? The boy asks. The waitress now notices people waiting for the table and gets a little impatient. She looks down at the boy and tells him it's 75 cents. The boy then looks at his hand again and examines the coins. He looks back up to the waitress and he says, I'll just take a plain bowl of ice cream then. The waitress then comes back with the ice cream and the bill and sets it next to him. The boy finishes his ice cream and takes his bill up to the cashier to pay it. As the waitress comes back over to wipe down the table, she swallows hard at what she saw. Neatly placed next to the ice cream, the boy had left a quarter for her tip. See, the way we look at the world shapes the people we become. These simple acts of kindness teach us lessons for change. We can all learn something from the boy in this story. like his incredible compassion for others and his true desire to work on the person he wants to become.
Man, Pete, what do you think about that, man?
That's amazing. But is that a true story?
Yeah, true story.
True story. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. Definitely had a profound impact upon the waitress, because she was definitely irritated with him, and he was going to ruin her tips for the day. As far as other people waiting for the table. But it's reflective of where we are as a society, where we probably always been as a society. We're impatient, but love is patient, and so we're impatient. So that means we converse to love, or adverse to the properties of love. But and it's a little boy and childlike innocence that we have lost as a people. And it's like a song out of Earth, Wind, and Fire: a child is born with a heart of gold, with the ways of the world turns his heart so cold. And so maybe in a few years, as the boy grows older and has to experience life, that light, that shine, will probably be dimmed by the society that we call civilization, and the most civilized world today.
Yeah. I mean, it is challenging when because I think when I said to you the love challenge, man, I mean, most people probably thinking, man, I don't know what these guys are talking about, man, because what we're dealing with today is insurmountable.
Yeah.
Right, man. There's nothing. I believe that there are people who are saying there's nothing we can do to change what's going on out here, what's happening politically, what's happening in our streets, when it comes to the amount of people that are hungry, people that are in prison. I mean, people that are in adoption. I mean, just think about, it seems insurmountable.
Yeah. United States is leading the world in child trafficking and absorption of child pornography. We lead in the world.
Yeah. And think about it. It seems, this is a word, insurmountable, but not with God. See, you could either say, you could take the end, man, that ain't gonna work, man, that ain't gonna happen, or you could say, you know what? Yeah, everybody might not start doing it, but if I start, if I start showing love and manifesting love, you start and you share it with somebody, it's just like this little podcast we're doing for 29 days. If you share it, if you go out and talk about not the podcast, but if you start going out and demonstrating manifesting love, then it becomes infectious. It starts going and going and going. Next thing you know, everybody will start transitioning back to where America had a moral compass.
Ooh.
We'll come back to common courtesy.
Yeah.
We'll come back to manners and ethics. So integrity. So Pete, I want to thank you, man. Any final words? I got to get off here because we're running late.
Yeah.
And I got 2 videos I'm sure we're not coming back, y'all. So I'll see you tomorrow for day 15. So I got to show my final video and then my outro. I love you guys. I see you tomorrow. Please show love, not just today, but tomorrow also. All right, check this out.
A.D. Williams once said, "Imagine what 7 billion humans could accomplish if we loved and respected one another." Just imagine. Imagine if there was no greed. Imagine if there was no comparison. If everyone was running their own race, but cheering for all others at the same time. Maybe we'll never see that in our lifetime. But what we all can do is start with ourselves. Start with yourself. Choose to lift others up. Choose to set the example of kindness and integrity, the example of compassion and understanding. There's a quote that says, no matter how educated, talented, rich, or cool you believe you are, how you treat people ultimately tells all. Integrity is everything. It really is. Who you are is far more important than what you have, and it will always be. Who you are is measured by how you make others feel. Be kind to each other. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Choose to be the change you wish to see in the world. Decide you will not wait for someone else. You will set the example. Be kind. Because you never know how much that person is suffering inside. You never know the difference your words can make, the difference your presence can make, the difference you can make to one human life. Be the reason someone believes in the goodness of humanity. Be the reason someone else decides to make a difference in others. Be the influence you want to see more of. Always do what is right, not what is easy in the moment. Kindness spreads like a virus. When you do good to another, that person does better to those they come in contact with. You really can make a big difference in the world today and every other day. Anne Frank said, in the long run, the sharpest weapon of all is a kind and gentle spirit. No one has ever made themselves great by showing how small another is. Be kind and always build others up to the best of your ability. Treat everyone with the same level of kindness that you would like for yourself. Not because everyone is nice, but because you are. Because karma makes no mistakes. Because it is right. Because you have integrity. Because you want this world to be better when you leave than when you arrive.